Well, anyway, I don't need it. Anyway. Cheese, wine, satisfied, that's it. Grandson should be showing up.
Okay, good evening, everyone. Welcome to the Plan Commission for September 9th, 2024. May I have roll call, please?
Okay, Burl Carpenter,
Present.
Amanda Cope,
Here.
Josh Fletcher, Tina King,
Present.
Jack Verana,
Here.
Jen Sharkey,
Present.
Brant Moore, here, Jeff Peters, here, Susan Ralston,
Here.
Steve White, Nick Sutton, Austin Boudreau, present.
Forum. All right, so you all received the packet. May I have a motion to approve the minutes?
Make a motion, we approve the minutes as presented for the August 12th, 2024 meeting.
Do I have a second?
Second.
I would like to make a note that Member White is present. And on time. Thank you, sir.
Planner Steele, do we have any old business?
No, we didn't.
Okay, so we will move on to the new business with the first case being a rezone only. Some property here in town, which Mr. Planner Steele will.
You can explain.
Oh, did everybody sign in? No, we do need to have you sign in and with your name and address, please. And then the way we run the meeting is we'll open up the case. The case will then be read and discussed. We will open up public meeting and then close the public meeting once that's finished. So again, the first case is a rezone only. Okay, good.
Okay, first agenda item this evening is case number 2024 PC 09001. The applicant is Saranova Development LLC, Ken Wilson, seeking rezone of 2500 North Wayne Street here in Angola. Sorry, my screens were mirrored differently. I just caught that. The current zoning is agricultural district and the proposed zoning is C2 to medium to large general commercial district. The current use is vacant and proposed use is vacant. Hearing date is today's date, September 9th, 2024. Legal notices appeared in the Herald Republican on August 30th. 23 property owners within 300 feet of the project were sent notice on August 28th. Applicable code is Title 18 of our UDO and Indiana Code Zoning Ordinance 36-7-4-600 series. Get going. The petitioner has requested or has recently acquired 110 plus acres of property with approximately 35.48 acres outlined in yellow on the image, located within the city limits of Angola and Zone Agricultural AG District. The remaining 2/3 of the property lies in the extraterritorial jurisdiction. The petitioner requests to rezone the 35.48 acre portion within city limits to C2, medium to large general commercial district, which would allow for moderate to high intensity commercial, retail services or service, eating and entertainment establishments. While no specific development plans have been submitted at this time, the rezone would open up possibilities for future growth and development along the main corridor. The property currently consists of a single-family detached dwelling along with several accessory structures spread across the 35-acre parcel. The Steuben County Legal Drain navigates this property. Livestock is also maintained on site, however, recently has been removed from the property. The residence will be vacated and the petitioner has submitted an application to initiate work on tree removal and exploratory soil pits and excavation. Next will be a series of aerial images of how the property sits today. Next is applicable zoning code provisions. This is everything that is permitted in the C2 medium to large general commercial district, of what could go in there in that zoning district. Contextual zoning and land use, as mentioned, this property is currently zoned agricultural. The surrounding uses to the north is C2 district of Meyer, Starbucks, Applebee's, and Menards. To the east is vacant agricultural land. To the south is ProFed, F&M Bank, a vacant restaurant, Crossway Estates, and Walmart. And to the west is moderate intensity industrial, C1 zoning as Gay's Party Store, Remax, and equipment. This project speaks to the comprehensive plan, objective 1.2, utilize land classification and land classification plan map for the foundation of zoning decisions. Objective 1.5, strongly encourage redevelopment of underutilized and vacant lots. And 1.7, and encourage infill development to direct commercial growth in the corporate limits. This specific area you'll see with the blue star. The future land map shows this area is high density residential with general commercial to the north and south, industrial to the west, and medium density immediately to the east. As of today, we have taken a handful of phone calls just inquiring about the C2 zoning district and what is permitted in there and what exactly was taking place this evening just for the rezone only. We did receive one email communication that I provided you all with a copy at your seat. The individual lives in a subdivision a little bit southeast of the development. I'm concerned about the wetlands. I believe mostly on the portion in the ETJ, but some of their questions would be addressed in the future development plan. Nothing for rezone specifically, but they had concerns about the wetlands and measures that could be taken by the applicant for this project into the future. And again, a copy of that was provided at your seat for review. In conclusion, staff is supportive of the request. The petitioner's 35.48 acre parcel more than meets all development standard requirements as outlined in the medium to large general commercial district. It is compatible with the surrounding zoning. Additionally, this parcel is along our main corridor servicing the city and aligns with our comprehensive plan. That is the conclusion of my staff report. Do you have any questions for staff? Board? Yes.
Where is the ETJ in relation to the property?
I'll just show you on this map, the ETJ, basically this is the city limits right here. So this whole portion would be in the ETJ.
Jeff, if you look on page 1, that drawing, the orange line.
Yeah, I just thought the ETJ went up to 200. All the way across 200 and 200 type of thing. Oh, okay.
It will along
It,
the ETJ,
Okay.
it's up there. So these, okay, 400.
Right. And so the remaining property is at the vertical 3 blocks.
Yes,
Up.
this is the remaining.
Okay.
That's in the ETJ. This is the 1/3 and then
Okay.
essentially the 2/3 that's remain as is.
Anything else from the board? Okay, hearing nothing, we will open it up for public comments. And again, keep in mind that this is a rezone only. And the petitioner, if you would like to come up and speak on behalf, and then we'll open it up.
Thank you. Good afternoon. My name is Ken Wilson, 319 Pokagon Trail. I'm here wearing multiple hats, but specifically as a partner in Serenova Development. We did acquire this ground approximately a month ago. A little bit of backstory. We tried into the early 2000s was unable to get that pulled off. We revisited it back in 2014, was unable to pull it off. The reason being it was held in a trust. So finally was able to get through the trust maze, and we were successful as the local buyer of the property. Something that was always dear to our heart because of being local, and there's an awful lot of ground sitting there between, walk and don't walk, so to speak. We know that there's a lot to be done with this. We don't have any immediate plans. We have some things that we'd like to accomplish with it. But first and foremost, we need to get through the investigation part of it. The first 35 acres, which would be the west that we're talking about right now, just happened to fall into the city limits. So it was easy enough to try to take on this 35 between Walmart and Myers and request a rezoning to the C2, which pretty much is everything up and down North Wayne Street as it is right now. The area that's in the back, the 2/3 is, I would say, the 70 acres that's in the process. We're kind of having discussions currently right now with the city to find out what the right timing of that would be. Currently right now, if that turns into anything that would be more residential, the commercial would remain up front. I think if there was a comment regarding wetlands, we have currently delineated all of the property right now to identify what the limits of the wetlands are, along with working on the county drain tile that goes through there, that you could, when you drove by there and you saw the cows, they were pretty much in the county drain tile. So we also working with the management department and coming up with how best to handle the water situation in and around that area. About where the property line is to the city right now, or the boundaries, if the water kind of flows to the east on the 2/3 and the west on the 1/3. So from a water standpoint, if the person that was inquiring about the wetlands being an issue on the east portion of it, that's yet to come. So we think that this is an excellent use of the property, excellent use of our rezoning request, and we look for coming up with a great development that everybody will be proud of.
Does anybody have any questions for the petitioner?
So basically, the person, in response to the person who emailed, that's going to be taken care of in the larger 2/3 block, do you think?
If that was the area of their concern, that's where the majority of the wetlands are. There is one small section on the 35 acres, excluding the county ditch, of course. So insignificant. I don't know that that's a concern. There are some homes, some called condos or villas in Northwest. They're at the tail end that the ground is clearly higher than their property. And when that development went in, there's not a lot of give for area, so that could be a concern of somebody. But in either case, we'll explore everything.
Right now, I'm correct thinking, right, that all of those concerns would be taken care of when they put it in their development plan. Then we would discuss those. And so tonight is just the rezone, nothing with water or drainage or anything like that.
Yep, that's.
Does anybody else from the board have any questions for Mr. Wilson? Thank you.
Thank you.
Okay, now we will open the public section. And again, remember that this is just a rezone. Any development plans will come later. Okay. So is there anybody that would like to speak on behalf or against the project?
I'm not speaking either or. I'm speaking just,
You got to come to the microphone, please.
Our name and address.
We need your name and address as well.
okay,
Please. Thank you.
my name's Barbara Bryan. I live at 302 Cornet Court. I don't think, 302 Cornet Court, yeah. Our basic concern is the wetlands. And just a heads up, because I understand now that it's not something that's going to be discussed or taken care of tonight. But I think a heads up that we are concerned. We bought our villas there and we have a nice woods behind us for the deer and the turkeys and the birds. And we would hate to see something come in that would ruin that. It's not millions of acres, but as far as the rezoning, I understand that the rezoning is basically from Meyer to, which would be on the frontage. Is that correct?
Yes.
So I don't think that really affects our community, but we had an association meeting yesterday, and it was discussed, and that there are a lot of owners that are very concerned, and we have put, particularly those of us that have property facing the wetlands, we've had to invest a fair amount of money keeping the water where it needs to be. So that will be an issue. Way to think about. Okay?
All right.
Thank you.
Thank you. Anyone else, please? Okay, seeing no one else to speak, we'll go ahead and close that portion of the meeting.
There are no findings. It just not required for rezoning petitions. Just petitioner seeking favorable recommendation or your recommendation, common council.
Okay. May I have a motion?
I move that we recommend that the zoning be changed. C2.
Do I have a second? Those in favor say aye.
Aye.
And those against? Motion carries. Thank you. Okay, we will move on to the next case involved here.
Letters like we did.
You're ready? Sorry.
Oh, you're fine. Moving on to the next this evening. Okay, sorry about that. Next for this evening is 2024 PC 09002. Three Rivers Federal Credit Union is requesting a plat amendment of the Tres Rios subdivision. The location is at 2998 Boyer Way, which is just north of Meyer. Current zoning is C2, medium to large general commercial. Hearing date is today's date, September 9th. Legal notices appeared in the Herald Republican on August 30th, and 7 property owners within 300 feet of the property were sent legal notices on August 28th. Applicable code is Title 18 of the UDO and Indiana Code Subdivision Control 36-7-4-700 series. It's not located within a floodplain, and staff recommends approval. The Tres Rios subdivision was approved and recorded as a single lot subdivision zone C2 along Wendell Jacob Avenue, just north of the Meyer retail store in February 2020. Tres Rios, which currently is the home of the Three Rivers Federal Credit Union, consists of 4.246 acres. During the development plan approval process for the Three Rivers Federal Credit Union in May 2020, the project was initially proposed as a 2-phase development. Phase 1 would involve the construction of the main bank building, while Phase 2 would focus on a development of future retail building with up to 5 tenant spaces, as well as 2 drive-up window options. Today, the petitioner requests to further subdivide the single lot known as Tres Rios into two separate lots. Lot 1 comprising of approximately 1.680 acres will be located in the northern portion of the property and will front Wendell Jacob Avenue. This lot will include the existing credit union access from Boyer Way. The remaining 2.569 acres will be designated as Lot 2 and will remain vacant for potential future development. The entire Tres Rios subdivision will continue to be zoned C2. Next is just a couple aerial images. Reference the property. As noted, the contextual zoning and land use, the property is currently zoned C2, medium to large general commercial. To the north, we have Bell Tire, Menards, Fast Pace, and Kohl's. To the east is vacant C2 property, the trail parking lot, vacant agricultural property owned by the Serenova Development and the ETJ, and R1 residential in the ETJ. To the south is vacant agricultural property by Serenova Development, going through the rezone just heard, banks and commercial properties. And to the west, Applebee, Starbucks, the Angola Tobacco Shop, and Vestal. As of today's date, there's been no public input from the notices being sent. And in conclusion, there is no plans for expansion of any buildings or further improvements. This plat amendment is purely for the goal of ownership. That is all of my staff report. Any questions from the board for staff?
Okay, hearing none, do we have anything from the public? Or for the petitioner, either one? Okay. Please state your name and address, please.
Zachary Estes, 6565 East, 200 South LaGrange. They have a potential buyer in mind. Instead of a multi-tenant facility, it's going to be a single user. So, if you have any questions?
Any questions?
So, and there'll be just one other one company in that.
From my understanding, they haven't released any information to me other than it wasn't going to be a multi-tenant facility anymore.
Okay.
Thank you. Again, anybody who would like to speak for or against the project? Okay, hearing none, we'll close that portion of the meeting. And I guess we just need to have a motion to approve.
Make a motion, we approve.
I'll second.
Tina can do it.
All those in favor?
Yeah, it is.
Aye. All those opposed? Motion carries. Thank you. All right, so we'll go on to our final case for the evening, and again, another rezone. Interview.
Okay. Last agenda item for this evening is 2024 PC 09003, 3M Investments. James Kirchhoff is seeking rezone. My apologies, staff report. I have the wrong address. It is of 1030 South Wayne Street. The current zoning is R2, medium density, single family residential district, and seeking R5, high density, multifamily residential district. The current use is vacant. The proposed use is dwelling 4-family quadplex. Hearing date is today's date, September 9th, 2024. Legal notices appeared in the Herald Republican on August 30th. 17 property owners within 300 feet of the project were sent legal notices on August 28th. Applies to Title 18 of our UDO and Indiana Code Zoning Ordinance 36-7-4-600 series, and it is not located within a floodplain. The petitioner recently acquired a 1-acre vacant parcel in August of 2024, outlined in yellow as seen in the image there. Along South Wayne Street, the property currently features a single-family residence with an accessory structure that are in a state of disrepair. To address this, the petitioner obtained demo permits in early August to remove these existing structures, buildings. The petitioner proposes to construct 2 primary structures on the property that will serve as 4-family quadplex dwelling facilities, providing a total of 8 residential units. This development aims to maximize the property's potential and is clearly compatible with the residential nature of the district as a special exception use within the R5 zoning district. The proposed use and lot meet all development standard requirements outlined under R5 high density residential district and is consistent with the surrounding zoning. Next, you'll see 2 images from North Wayne Street looking at the property as it sits today. The first is from the south, looking slightly northwest, and next is from the north, looking southwest. Next is the applicable zoning code provisions. You can see what is permitted by right in the zoning district first, and then secondly, the special exception uses dwelling a 4-family quadplex. Next is the contextual zoning and land use. As mentioned, the property is currently zoned R2, medium density, single family residential. To the north, you have C2 zoning, the Angola, Dodge Chrysler Ram, and traditional residential. To the east, you have more C2 with automotive sales and repair. And then PD zoning, which includes like the Steuben County EDC, Rise, and Enterprise Point apartments. To the south, you have C1 commercial, R4 residential, and institutional district that include the Pleasant View Church of Christ. And to the west, you have traditional residential, R5 zoning of the Lakeland apartments, and institutional. Speaks to the comprehensive plan of objective 1.2, utilizing the land classification and plan map. Objective 1.5, strongly encourage lots that are vacant with abandoned structures. Objective 1.7, encourage infill within the corporate limits. Future land map shows this area as general commercial with high density residential, medium density residential, and institutional land use. As of today's date, there's been no public input of illegal notices being sent. And in conclusion, staff is supportive of the request. The parcel of land meets the requirements for an R5 zone district, and the proposed development is a simple and cost-effective way to increase density and allow more housing options within existing developed areas. Additionally, the rezoning would provide shovel-ready site for quality residential development in Angola. That is the conclusion of my staff report. Is there any question from the board or staff?
Brett, could you remind me a little bit about the special exemption uses with that used within our zoning code provision?
Yeah, so there's special exception uses that were outlined. I'll go back just so you can reference them. And it basically just seeks the Board of Zoning Appeals for permission of these uses are sought at that, but it needs permission from the board. As you can see, one example I always tell people, like in the C2 zoning commercials, is one of our higher resident or commercial districts, but they just can't come in and sell firearms right away unless certain things are met and approved. And this is the same case, but on a residential aspect of needing the board to approve that specific use for that
zoning district.
Okay, so should the rezone move forward here, then the BZA would also have a,
Correct. Yep. To hear the special exceptions. Yep.
thank you.
As well as the development coming back to the plan commission as well. Our 5 developments require a development plan approval.
Okay, thank you.
Okay, any other questions? And is there anyone here that would like to speak as a petitioner on behalf?
I'm Jim Kirchhoff. I live at 300 Lane, 650 AD Snow Lake in Fremont. And basically what we're doing is taking structures that are already delaminated. I mean, I tried to walk in them, they're just totally deteriorating now. Clean up that lot and put 2 4-plex higher end apartments that are 1,000 square foot apiece, 2 lower, 2 upper, and 2 buildings that mirror with a parking lot in front for the apartments.
Is there any questions for the petitioner?
Thank you.
Thank you. Is there anyone here that would like to speak for or against the project? Okay, hearing none, we will close that portion of the meeting. Yes, at this point, we just need to have a motion. Do I have a second? Okay, all those in favor say aye. Aye. Those opposed? Motion carries. So that completes all of the agenda items. Is there anything else for the board?
Not that I can think of. There is a meeting next month. How many cases I couldn't tell you right now for the way the day's been, but I know there's a meeting next month for planning commission, so look forward to seeing you all then.
With that, we are adjourned.
Thank you.
You know, next council. So the one that we just talked about.
No, but they're by October.